Welcome to Networking Working, the podcast where real business stories meet meaningful connections. Brought to you by Business Matching UK, the UK's first business matching membership service with a business opportunity guarantee. Whether you're building something new, scaling something established, or just exploring smarter ways to move your business forward, you are in the right place.
Welcome back to Networking Working and the last episode in this season. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting elements of your BMUK membership, the matching process. As we've touched upon before, this process is not simple. It involves human and technologically advanced techniques, which is why, for this episode, we have the benefit of both Paul and Phil. Welcome both.
Hi.
Hiya.
Paul, you've mentioned before that you leave anything technical to Phil. So let's start from your perspective. Once somebody joins BMUK, does the matching start straight away?
The way that it starts is usually there's a conversation with them. Very quickly, there's only a certain amount of people in each group, in each city, doing certain occupations. So we select them very carefully, usually by recommendation. Not always, but usually. So I'll have a conversation with them first to see if I feel it's right for them, but also if they feel we are right for them. So as and when they usually come to an event, a Zoom event or face-to-face, then we'll join. And from the moment they join, it's part of the onboarding process. And the first part, I've just done one this morning, is a 30-minute discovery meeting with me. So it's to discover how we do it and what we do. And the end result of that is every member who's joined gets access to all the member lists. We ask them to annotate on the list who they would like to meet. These are introductions to other members who they've decided they would like to meet. So the matching process begins in the first half hour of their membership with us.
And to back that up, Paul hands over the baton in this race and we take over from a technology point of view. So when Paul has had that conversation and we've got the green light, then there is a series of emails that go out to the prospective member, and that enables them to come on to our database. And what that enables them to do through a secure login is to complete what we call a profile or an offering. It also allows them to select from a whole range of categories the sector, business areas that they believe they're involved in. But the key to all of this is what we call the profile or the offering. So the more accurate, the more deep, the wider the offering they can put onto that profile, that helps our technology to improve the level of matching. So changes in their business, an extra product or something they do uniquely different to their competitors, please add that to your profile, because our technology will enable them to improve the number and the quality of opportunities that come their way.
There's a certain instinct as to who will be great to introduce to whom, but when it comes to technology doing its thing, what criteria do you look at when deciding who should be matched with whom?
Again, we have two aspects of this. One is the personal touch, which is important, but the other is the technology bit. From the profile I mentioned, we're able then to put a question set in place that enables a further analysis of that profile. It digs deeper into what they've put. The aim is to get, if I use the analogy, lift up the bonnet of the car and to actually see the type of engine, maybe the VIN number they've got. Is it a diesel? Is it a petrol? Has it got two carbs? Has it been modified? That helps us to understand a bit more. So that question set is validated. And the results from that go onto our technology platform. And then what we do, we analyze that through a couple of processes. Now, for each member, that generates a set of opportunities. Those opportunities we have to be very aware of, because as we cycle what we call our question set over a 6-week cycle, it is quite possible for a very similar or a same match to occur again, maybe the following month or the month after. So we have put in place a traffic light set. So usual stuff, red, amber, green. As we look at the results of the question set and then the analysis of the question set, there may be reds. Now, reds will tell us, ignore that. That is clearly a repetition. And that repetition, well, may be because we haven't gone deep enough or the profile isn't wide enough. Amber is something that says it's quite close. So what we do, we look at that to the previous match and we decide then manually through staff who know members whether or not it is sufficiently different to offer that opportunity. Green is, hey, that is quite different. There is something that is going to happen that hasn't happened before, and that automatically goes out to the member. Now, when the call is made, we have the validated question set, and then there are a short number of personal business questions that are also asked. I don't mean what did you have last night to eat, but something that is very difficult to validate. Give an example. Have you got projects that are coming up that may enable you to X, Y, Z? And they're asked as well. So we try to balance the validation with the more human, the more relationship ones, and that helps us also to provide a slightly improved matching process.
How often are matches reviewed or refreshed, and what triggers a change or update?
Constant communication with me, of course. I do have a system to make sure that at least once a month I have a conversation with each member. It's not a ticky box exercise, because a lot of them are coming to me all the time and telling me stories. Quick example, a Leeds and Manchester presentation last week. 9 different members at the 2 locations came to me to tell me about opportunities or successes they've had, one of which was the biggest sale they've had. And this is a guy who's been in business for 40, 50 years. Another one who just actually joined and paid that day. He said, I've got more in the first 3 days than I have in 3 years from any other group, which is great. But at the end of the day, Dawn's system, she's the communications manager. It's vital that people, both on the manual side and on the digital side of the business, take the calls with Dawn, book the calls with Dawn, keep the calls with Dawn, because it keeps us up to date with where they're up to, exactly as Phil just wonderfully laid out. But at the same time, we can anticipate changes that are coming as to what's going on. The 4 key questions Dawn and I ask them is 1, what have you received? 2, what have you given? 3, your partnerships, and they could be outside of BMUK. And 4, your success stories, which we publish with their approval for free. So that's really how we track it, how we do it, how we keep on top of it. And then basically I do an annual review with them as well. So it's very people orientated. As we get bigger, as Phil says, we've got technology and ideas how to do that, to keep the quality, but to take away a lot of the time consuming part, but not lose the human touch.
Yeah, technology will add to that. Like in any business, to put in place technology does take a bit of time and to get it right. And we know today there's such a lot of technology out there. What we're busy doing is looking to select what is right, what can add a much sharper edge to our cutting knife. And that cutting knife is an improvement in not just the number of opportunities or matches that a member will have, but also the quality, both internally and externally. And it does take a bit of time to get all of these in place. Some of them don't work. We know that. Some of them do work. Some of them you think don't work, do work. So it's a matter of sifting through those. And we're in the process of looking to build that in a much sharper, more professional and a more accurate way.
This episode of Networking Working is brought to you by Business Matching UK, the UK's first business matching membership service with a business opportunity guarantee. If you're tired of turning up to networking events that lead nowhere, BMUK guarantees to offer something different. Structured, supported, and strategically driven business development, designed to connect the right people in the right way at the right time. With a blend of face-to-face and online meetings, plus 7 IP and trademark protected mechanisms, BMUK guarantees real business opportunities, and that guarantee is the cornerstone of what makes us different. Stop chasing leads and referrals. Start matching with meaningful opportunities. Register your interest today at www.business-matching.co.uk. Business Matching UK. Matching ambition with opportunity.
How flexible is the matching process? For example, can members request adjustments if their needs evolve?
Yeah, I go back to the profile. So a major level of responsibility would be if I'm a member and I've got something changing in my business, we need to encourage members to go to the profile, their portal, go onto it and make those changes, make those adjustments. In my own industry, I might be cabling, so I would put cabling in because I'm an IT and a comms company. Don't normally do that, but I might have an expertise now, might have an engineer. So unless I put that into my profile, then part of what we've talked about will be missed. because they don't know that I do that. So keeping the profile up to date is very important. That's a key for us to be pushing out and pulling in, and for other members to know what any one member can do.
What sort of feedback do you get from members about the matching experience?
I would say very quick to come and tell us good news stories, because they know that's gold dust for us and also for them. They're quite proud that they're part of something that not anybody can get in. For example, if you're the HR person in the group in Leeds, you're the HR person. And unless that HR person ever leaves the group, nobody will get that place in Leeds. So they're quite proud of the fact that it's there for them. Now, I'm not saying for a minute it works for everybody all the time, but remember, going back to previous episodes, we are passionately serious about being the first membership group in British history to guarantee business opportunities. We mean that, and that's what we aim to fulfill. We might not fulfill it with everybody, but really we're looking for nigh on 100%. The reason we think that'll come to pass is because unless your business is very, very, very niche, in which case we'd identify that quickly, maybe not even encourage you to join, just be honest with you. If they follow the 14-point engagement guide, we're confident they will, and so far most of them have, get a return on investment. So the feedback is both manual and, as Phil's clearly portrayed, digital. It's crucial that we capture it in both ways, but they often want to tell their story of success. And we'll need that for the newsletters for next year. We'll need that for the videos by somebody that we've got who's a member who does that and has helped us with that. And verbalization and visualization and podcasts are crucial to get the message out that this really is different. A lot of people say to me, for what you're charging, this is an awful lot. I say yes, but if the retention rate's high, it becomes very lucrative and it becomes very famous very quickly. But there are other people out there, other groups. Some of them are collaborating wonderfully with us. There's some of them waiting for us to trip up so they can say, told you it couldn't be done. Phil and I, more than 50 years experience between us in networking, maybe it's a bit more. At the end of the day, we know nobody's done this before, either because they didn't feel they needed to, or they didn't dare, or they couldn't work it out, which without the technology, it couldn't be done.
On the technology side, I'm more protected than Paul. So we encourage members to be very clear and honest with us. If there's a problem, an issue, something that they know could work better, if it's not working correctly, we want to know. Because at the end of the day, we can paint a picture, but that picture may look nice to us, but to you guys, it may be horrible. So it is important that feedback comes, and we're quite prepared to be knocked on the nose. It's constructive. The aim is to change what we know now isn't working and be able to move forward with something that is better. So it is a development and then an evolution.
How does this process set BMUK apart from traditional networking groups where members are often left to figure things out for themselves?
I know I've touched on this in previous podcasts. This is my opinion. I'm sure Phil's got his. We've both done a lot of networking. The traditional group, there's two. You either go along for free, and it's a free-for-all, and it's a day out of the office, and you see your mates, have a coffee, have a chit-chat, and if you get anything from it, it's a bonus. It's free, but it isn't free. You're spending your time, your petrol, your car parking, especially with the way things are economically right now. You need to look at that, and a lot of people are. They're voting with their feet. Now we come to the business membership groups where you pay. So what tends to happen is you join and pay. You're the best thing since sliced bread. They make a fuss of you. You get 6 to 8 weeks in, and you just become part of the furniture. And I'm not meaning they ignore you, but then when it gets to the 10th, 11th month, you're suddenly flavour of the month again. So that's why we have a 6-month membership, to keep the members on the toes and engaged, and keep us on the toes to provide what it says in the tin. And because we're confident, that's what sets us apart from the other groups, because we dare to do and we dare to renew every 6 months. So I think really from the point of view of setting us apart from other groups, the key element that I've missed is that we as a group accept some part responsibility for providing business membership opportunities, both internal and the toughest one, external. And by doing that and guaranteeing it, that takes us to a place nobody's ever been before.
The aim is to deploy technology to make a difference. As Paul rightly says, traditional networking is the same week in, week out, or month in, month out, mornings or afternoons, or even whatever it may be. And many of these networks, they do work outside of the time that you meet face-to-face, predominantly through WhatsApp. But you're still looking to have a referral or a lead from a member that you've maybe just spoken to at the last meeting. The aim of BMUK is to be able to work harder using technology when members are making money in their own business. They are on holiday, they're asleep, they're doing something else. So as Paul said, the internal and external opportunities are churning over all the time. We also try to vary how members get together. It isn't just you meet every week at the golf club or at the hotel. The aim is that there are meets, yes, but we split that up with Zoom meetings. And what we do at those Zoom meetings is to encourage members to learn more about each member.
Those interaction sessions have got headings, titles, projects. So they're not just sat there doing 60 seconds. There's a theme to it and there's a reason for it. And it draws them out so they don't just drone on about what they're doing, what they're looking for, and that's it. So it creates collaboration and team spirit. And that's why a lot of the members are collaborating and getting to know each other, in which case, when projects come up for them to work on together, they can signpost people with confidence because they know them. And to do that across the different groups is quite something. You might do it in a very small networking group that meets every week where there's 15 of you. You get to know each other really well. How about having that intimacy and professionalism with 100? That's difficult.
If you've ever wondered how some members seem to form powerful connections so quickly, now you know. It isn't luck, it's the BMUK process doing what it was designed to do. If you're listening thinking, I could benefit from being matched with the right people, or I'd love to be part of a community where introductions are meaningful, not random, then maybe it's time to take a closer look at BMUK. Join us for Season 2, where we will start to hear from the members of BMUK, another membership benefit. Thank you so much for your time today, both.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
If today's episode gave you fresh insight, a practical takeaway, or simply something to think about, hit follow, leave us a rating or review, and share the episode with someone else navigating the same landscape. Networking Working is powered by Business Matching UK, a movement changing the way businesses connect, collaborate, and grow. If you're ready to take a more strategic, supported approach to your business development, one that's built on strategy, not chance, then BMUK is what you didn't know you needed. Visit www.business-matching.co.uk to explore more and register your interest.
The information in this podcast is for general guidance and entertainment purposes only. The Networking Working podcast shares ideas and experiences to inspire and inform, and we believe they can be valuable, but they may only reflect part of your own business journey. We always recommend seeking independent advice and using your own judgment to decide what's right for your business. We encourage you to do your own research before making any decisions. The opinions in this episode are our own and those of our guests, and we do our best to ensure the content is accurate and relevant at the time of recording. If you have any questions or would like to continue the conversation, you can reach us at info@business-matching.co.uk. Thank you for listening.